Good evening, good people. Come on in, come on in. Get ready to be entertained. This is the Cowboys' Final Verdict, and I'm your host, Ronnie Judge. We've had a lot of things going on. I've had taken some time to just to breathe. Right, Demarcus Lawrence won a Super Bowl. Said he'd never win one with the Dallas Cowboys. Kudos to you, man. I'm done. The Super Bowl taught us a few things, right? We're right now in the draft season, right? There is no off season for the National Football League. We're always trying to improve. We're always doing player acquisitions, always looking at tape. Trying to better our team, right? And for this content creator, right? We're 70, 71 days from the National Football League draft, right? So we got draft content all over the social media, all over YouTube, and I use this as my therapy for the toxic relationship I am with the Dallas Cowboys. Toxic meaning the Joneses. We franchise tag GP3. Great. Perfect. We finally get a wide receiver 2. We finally get an elite wide receiver 2. A wide receiver 1 actually can go, and I say that because he can go to any other football team in the National Football League and be a wide receiver 1. So yeah, George Pickens is absolutely a wide receiver 1. CeeDee Lamb is a wide receiver 1 for the Dallas Cowboys, Club 88, right? So we have a 2, right? And CeeDee Lamb opens it up for GP. GP opens it up for CD. GP and CD open it up for Ferguson, right? And Flournoy. And an absolute beast at wide receiver 3. And so I'm excited about where the Dallas Cowboys are going. We've got 2 first-round draft picks this year. What are we going to do with them? How's it going to work? We're going to trade up, trade back, whatever. A lot of things can happen still. There's talk about Maxx Crosby. Would you give 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby? Can you have Maxx Crosby and sign George Pickens? Absolutely can sign George Pickens, and absolutely can get Maxx Crosby if that's what. Can you imagine Maxx Crosby, Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, Jadeveon Clowney on the defensive line? Oh my God. That would be a nightmare. You think that defensive line would make Maurice Luafau look like Sean Lee? I mean, come on. Like, if you got that kind of pass rush, you got that kind of defensive line, what linebacker wouldn't thrive? What linebacker couldn't stay clean? What linebacker couldn't interpret and process the plays better? What cornerback wouldn't get better? What safety? Our safety room has got to be addressed, I think, right? I'll talk a little bit more about draft picks and possible picks for the Dallas Cowboys that I like as a fan, right? But Maxx Crosby and GP, if we get them 2, we would have to do some. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Something I hate, right? If we sign George Pickens and get Maxx Crosby, we'd have to do some Dollar General shopping, man. Something I absolutely hate, mediocrity. But a mediocre player, a middle average player could look like an all-pro behind a defensive line like that. With Javonte Williams running the football, with Ferguson tight end and Flournoy, GP and CD. Like, our offense could actually put some points on the board. Our defense could actually get to the quarterback and make the offense change everything they're doing to try to counter what our defense is doing, right? We're talking about chess and checkers. We're talking about using our defense as a chess piece to affect offenses, making them adjust for us. And Maxx Crosby would absolutely do that. Could we get if we could only get one? This is the question that I was brought up with a friend of mine, and it was like, if you could only get one, if you could only have one, you either get George Pickens or Maxx Crosby. I absolutely take George Pickens. George Pickens makes our offense an elite offense. I don't want to jack with our offense. It was a Pro Bowl offense. Dak Prescott put up numbers. I mean, after all, look what the Super Bowl taught us, right? Drake May and Sam Darnold, right? You don't think Dak Prescott better quarterback than either one of those two? Think again, because Dak Prescott is absolutely leaps and bounds ahead of those two. An average quarterback that those two guys they just played mistake-free football. The winning team did, absolutely. The Seahawks, and the quarterback really didn't do a whole lot. The running back, kept him in the game. So if it came down to the running back Love in the draft, right? Like Love, yeah. Look what he did look what the running game did for Seattle, right? But George Pickens is Dak Prescott friendly. When CeeDee Lamb went down, Dak Prescott had no problem going deep, throwing him in double coverage, giving him the 50-50 ball, knowing that he was going to go up, get it, and come down with it. He caught everything. Now, will he get his bag and not play? There's talk about that. How do you know? So does it make sense to franchise tag him? They franchise tag him. We all knew that. Franchise tag is absolutely to see if they can get a long-term deal done. A long-term deal works better for the Dallas Cowboys. I say 2 to 3 year contract is probably what George Pickens is wanting. And frankly, if I was a Dallas Cowboy front office, 3 years is what I'd be shooting for. Let him re-up in the market. We got his services for 3 years. The window closes, right? Our window is closing. That's a fact. The Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl window is closing. It's been 31. It'll be 30 going on 31 years since we had a Super Bowl. We are in a drought. We definitely would love to see the promised land again, be a part of the big dance. And GP3 gives us that opportunity, right, by making us an elite offense, and don't jack with that. Go out and fix this defense, whatever it costs to do that. Jerry Jones, you don't know what check I'd write to win a Super Bowl. Well, you got an opportunity to write one now. Write that check, fix that defense. Yeah, fix that defense with that check, Jerry. Like Vosh Lombardi and Brian Broaddus, man, I love their work. I love the way they feed off each other, man. If you haven't been to Crown Global Media, please check that out. Kudos to you guys and the work that you do. Mad respect, man. Vosh Lombardi's got some of the best breakdown in football players that I've seen. I don't know why he hasn't been hired as a scout. Like he's got. Man, I've been watching him for years, and his record is there, right? It's on the internet. Go look it up, right? Like he's hit on a lot more than he's missed on, and I value that. I just like the way he keeps the draft, the film breakdown. You watch these films of these players in college, and it just gets over and over and over, and it's mundane, and he makes it fun, right? And Brian Broaddus is a Super Bowl winning scout, right? So I love what they do on Crown Global Media. I recently watched one of my other favorite shows is Cowboys Collective with some of 4 of the most elite content creators out there, right, as far as the Cowboys are concerned. And that's Law Nation, Foots to King, man, a legendary Skywalker Steel, right? John Machota, right? And I've followed John Machota for a long time. Foots to King is got his breakdown. He was the Senior Bowl, man. Mad respect for you, Foots to King, right? And Law Nation, everybody knows him, man. He rubs elbows with everybody, right? Like just class act. And the Cowboy Collective is an amazing show. I watch everything that's Dallas Cowboys. I don't think I ever get enough of it. That's the reason why I call this my therapy, the Dallas Cowboys or the Cowboys' final verdict is because my family is like sick and tired of hearing about the Dallas Cowboys, because I'm Dallas Cowboy 24/7. I love my Dallas Cowboys. I talk about my Dallas Cowboys. I read about the Dallas Cowboys. I watch about the Dallas Cowboys, and I talk about the Dallas Cowboys, right? And so if you're new to this channel, man, like, share, and subscribe. I absolutely cannot do this without you. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about it. Right? It costs absolutely nothing to subscribe. I'm able to go live now. I think I'm going to go live for the draft. The NFL draft show will be my first live show, is what I plan on. Hopefully, I can get my studio ready by then. So the Dallas Cowboys hired Christian Parker, defensive coordinator. His staff's been put together. We haven't heard from him yet because he's still finalizing his staff. I believe his staff is finalized earlier this week. This is I'm doing this video. It's Wednesday night, so it's late in the week, and so we should hear from Christian Parker really soon. I want to see what this coaching staff has as far as their input on free agency, the draft, and using this defense as a chess piece, right, to combat offenses, right, and make them other teams be playing checkers while we're playing chess. The Dallas Cowboys are on our way up. We've been 7-10 2 years in a row, right? Can it get any worse? Absolutely, right? 2024 was absolutely the worst year I think I'd ever watched football for the Dallas Cowboys as long as I've been a fan, and I've been a fan since Roger Staubach was a rookie, right? So like, I've been doing this for a long time as a fan, watching the Cowboys and being a fan, and man, last year got even worse. We were the worst. I think we were quoted as, or it was said, might have been even the epic failure defense, right? Eberflus was so bad that an elite number one offense could not win games, right? Because our defense just couldn't do anything. We knew you were going to run, and you ran all over us. We knew you were going to pass, and you shredded us. It just didn't make no sense, man. Players that were good were all of a sudden awful. Players that we got from one organization or one coaching staff said, this is our green dot dude, Maurice Luafau. He couldn't even get on the field, right? Revel got some really good playing time. So we got Simone Revel. We got Shamir James, right? We got some talent on this defense. So I do believe that we have some centerpieces and some ability to be middle line, right? Like just be above average, and our offense can carry us, man. They say defenses win a championship for a reason, right? If you looked at the Super Bowl, man, the defenses were absolutely lights out, and our defense is just horrible. There's no other way you can say the Dallas Cowboys defense is horrible. We've got to be aggressive in free agency. That's one thing. Another thing we learned from the Super Bowl was the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots were the biggest spenders in free agency. They also turned their team around in one season. So they showed us, not necessarily a blueprint, maybe things ain't changing, but they showed us that it was possible to change your team in one season if you're aggressive in free agency. Dallas Cowboys must be aggressive in free agency. Can't fill the holes we got without being aggressive in free agency. So, Jerry Jones, get that checkbook out. Be aggressive, right? Aggressive would be Maxx Crosby. Would I like that? Absolutely. But are there other options out there? Yeah. Turn over every rock, just like we did with the coaching staff on offense, and look at Schottenheimer. Kudos to you, man. I think he should have been was close to coach of the year, man. Like what he did for the Dallas Cowboys offense and how things operated, I think were absolutely amazing. And I think we have the same opportunity to do this with Christian Parker and the staff that he's quietly assembled, right? I think they're an elite coaching staff. And after all, what's coaching for is taking some of these players that we have, some of the talent that we have, and transforming them into playmakers, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the off season. I always do. I'm looking forward to the draft. I'm looking forward to free agency because free agency is going to tell us a lot about this Dallas Cowboys, a lot about this front office, and I don't want to hear there's not enough pie. We ain't got enough money. Man, we can flip some switches. We can restructure contracts. We can do all these things that everybody already knows that. We are an informed fan base. We have the ability to do things to make money. Yeah. And the NFL has helped the Dallas Cowboys every year. The cap goes up every year, so we're in a win-win situation. I think. And this draft is absolutely falling for the Dallas Cowboys. It is a defensive draft, and we need defense, right? But the franchise tag with GP3. I wasn't excited about that. I don't want a disgruntled wide receiver. I don't want locker room drama. George Pickens' agent is Mulligetta, who was Michael Parsons' agent, and Jerry Jones doesn't even know his name. Everybody else in the world knows his name, but Jerry Jones don't. So Mulligetta's never let a player or one of his clients play on the franchise tag. So there's that, right? So we franchise tagged him. Is it going to be a holdout? Fuddy-duddy. We don't know, right? Then there's Maxx Crosby trade talks, right? Like Maxx Crosby wants out. We've already talked to them about it. They've been talking about it since before. And you know what? I give 2 first rounds for Maxx Crosby. Probably so. I think I signed GP3. I think I retain his services for 3 to 5 years. And I think, if not longer, if it works out for both parties, and I think I give the first round picks, man, to a proven, known talent, man. Like I said, can you imagine Maxx Crosby, Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, Jadeveon Clowney, Easy Izaraku on our line of scrimmage? Are you insane? I don't know what the fastest quarterback throw is in the NFL, but it would have to be 2 seconds consistently with those monsters on the D line. And Houston Texans have shown the blueprint of a team. Somebody was quoted as saying that 2 teams that could win it all would be the Texans and the Seahawks because their defense, right? It just doesn't give quarterbacks time to do anything. And those guys were both those teams, collapsed the run and gap integrity, and they're mauling dudes on the way to the quarterback, right? So that's the kind of defense I'm looking forward to. I'm wanting to fix this, and it can be fixed. They've showed us it can be fixed in 1 season. But that leaves us to the draft, man. If we get to the draft and here we've got some possible targets for the draft. I mean, I'm good at just taking our picks at 12 and 20 and sticking with them and getting 2 dudes and then getting some average players and some veteran help and in the locker room and on the field, and bringing this team from 32nd to 12th, right? Be a 12th defense, man. With our offense, and we would be Super Bowl contenders, I really believe. But the Cowboys have also signed 8, 9, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 8 players, I think. Treshawn Holding, which is wide receiver. Paris Campbell, wide receiver. Israel Abakanda, running back. Everett was O-line. Marcellus Johnson was an O-line. And you know, Treshaun Holden, you know, he almost made the 53-man roster last year. Paris Campbell was on the practice squad, you know, and I believe that both of them got some good reps, and I believe they're really good wide receivers. They, you know, they give that push up our wide receiver 3 core, right? You know, Isaiah Land, defensive end on the defense side. We got Isaiah Land. He was defensive end, and he showed some promise, showed some skills, and we got him. We retained his services. Zion Childress, a defensive back, cornerback, and Julius Wood is a safety, right? And Wood and Childress both showed promise in preseason this year. So those signings are all part of the 90. We'll go against the 90-man roster when it gets put together. But it definitely fills some need and depth at the defensive end, DBs and safeties. Like I said, the proven wide receivers are back, and that's a solid running back, man. He's a bowling ball. He runs with he's a shoddy running back. Let's just say that, right? He's got the shoddy metrics, right? And I think he's a good signing. I really think all those were good signings. I don't really know much about Marcellus Johnson and Everett, the O-line guys. I haven't watched them a whole lot, so but the rest of them I definitely am familiar with. But the Dallas Cowboys possible targets at 12 and 20, possible targets, right, at 12 and 20, right? And these are the guys that I've watched and some tape that I've watched, and I got Reuben Bain Jr., David Bailey is my edge guys, Cassius Howell, Messidor, Romello Height, Thomas, Falk, and Parker. TJ Parker, right? There's been a lot of talk about TJ Parker. He's got some questions for me. I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's a run down the middle dude, and I think that's what Vosh Lombardi says all the time. But you know, Parker, man, do your job, right? And it's more about just run down the middle. You know, you got to have gap integrity. You got to you know, keep your eyes on the football, man. Stack and shed. But Romello Height and Cassius Howell or Messidor, those are the 3 that I like, you know, and are going to fall in the 20 range. I'll take any 3 of those in the 20 range with confidence, right? Bain Jr. and David Bailey are probably going to be gone. They're probably the top 5. Arvell Reese is the linebacker, and he's probably the number 1 player after the Heisman Trophy quarterback, right? And Sonny Styles, A.J. Hill, C.J. Allen, Jose Rodriguez from Texas Tech. Those are all great linebackers. I think C.J. Allen and A.J. Hill are comparable to Sonny Styles. You know, I think they all 3 of those 3 are probably interchangeable to some degree. Which ones you like, the measurables, or you know, we're going to learn more at the NFL Combine coming up. We'll get to see the true measurables of these guys, see their speed. You know, because some of these guys, if you're just in the box, man, you're probably a great linebacker, but man, in coverage, you're going to be a liability. So we're going to look and see some more of that. Cornerbacks, and this is really something I believe we got to address as cornerbacks and safety room. I would like to see the safety room addressed. Caleb Downs, if he's there, we absolutely got to take Caleb Downs. In my opinion, absolutely a beast at the corner safety position. Thieneman, he's comparable too. I think, again, the same thing with Caleb Downs and Thieneman is that, you know, the measurables and one's better at this and one's better at that. You know what I mean? Like, what are you looking for? And these defensive coordinators are gonna, when we hear from them, we'll know a little bit more about what direction we're going. Halsey and Ramsey are the other safeties, right? So I got 4 safeties that I've watched the film on, and so far those are my top safeties. If we go any further than that, you might as well just get some veteran free agency help, right? Cornerback is Jermod McCoy. He's got the knee injury, right? He doesn't have any 2025 tape, but his 2024 tape is amazing. He's the top cornerback in this draft. But I know as a Cowboy fan, I'm a little skittish about these knee injuries, man. With are we going to have the reconstructive knee back end of our defense? With DeMarvion Overshown, Shavon Revel, and Gerard McCoy, man. But his tape is amazing. He's point of attack, right? He's not afraid to tackle. He's quick. He's fluid. Of course, that's all prior to the knee injury, right? So again, the NFL Combine is going to tell us a little bit more about this kid or this young man and where he's going to fall. Mansour Delane is Foots the King gave a breakdown of him. I actually watched his breakdown, Foots the King's breakdown on Mansour Delane, and really liked it. And went and watched the tape myself, but like the way he broke it down, and Vice Lombardi and the Crown Global Media with Brian Broaddus also broke down Mansour Delane. But this dude is really good. He's probably my best cornerback in this draft, Mansour Delane. And the reason why I like him the best is because, man, he can do everything, man. He can do everything as a cornerback, man. He can play on the edge. He can play man. He can play zone. He's real intelligent, right? And he doesn't have a knee injury, right? So there is that. There's Sissy and Hood are my next two in that order, right? McCoy, Delaney, Sissy, and Hood. But we'll see where they fall. Let's see what we're going to do with this free agency. Hopefully, the free agency is going to tell us a little more about where we're at. Are we going to have two picks? Or we're going to give a first this year and a first next year and get Crosby? Are we going to sign GP3? Or are we going to play games with that? Or so there's still a lot of unanswered questions for Dallas Cowboy Nation, and I probably didn't answer a whole lot of them, but I gave you some ideas of who we can target and pick 12 and 20. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your questions are, man, and we'll get this thing going and start putting out some content for my fans, right? And for the Dallas Cowboy fans, man, y'all deserve the best, and that's what this is, right? Dallas Cowboys best, right? It's Cowboys final verdict. And I'm your host, Ronnie Judge. You don't know what anybody's been through, so be nice, be kind. Peace and love.